all right? These are very simple things that we're going to go over today, chat. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Miz, we already know it, but sometimes it's good to learn again, all right? So you guys can talk in class, so you can use TTS. I will allow it, okay? But don't be annoying. But yes, you could talk. What does finance mean? Finance is how we use money. So we earn money, we spend money, we save money, and then that money will hopefully grow. So one in chat if you have earned money before. All right, so we have a lot of ones, we have a lot of zeros, and we have some people in here saying, let's put all the million in options to make a ton of money.
Saving money is my struggle.
Yes, so a lot of your struggles are going to be saving money, and that's very hard to do nowadays because the world's unfair and it's way too expensive, and that's just the truth. It's too expensive, it's bullshit. Our generation of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds have been absolutely fucked in the ass when it comes to expenses. Everything is a subscription, it's not fair, it's bullshit. But you know what, chat? Life's not fair. Life's never been fair. It's just how it goes, all right? Well, actually, that's not true. For baby boomers, life was definitely fair.
Bless
right?
you.
That was definitely fair for them. They had a great life. Your parents had a great time if they were in America. They were born in the 50s and 60s. They basically had the entire economy growing for about 70 years straight, and they had no struggles. To buy a house, they needed to save up for about 3 years, and they could have bought a house with their fucking wife. Think about how crazy that is to say. I'm being serious. They had to get a normal job as like a mailman for like 3 years, and they could have bought a house. That's the craziness of what it was back then. But it ain't like that anymore. Oh, hey, Belle, are you a new streamer? So you earn money to spend money, you save money, and you grow. And your goal, chat, when it comes to financing, and hopefully you learn from a lot of this, is to stop spending so much money. Because a lot of you guys probably waste a lot of money, and you can use that money to invest to make money as well as you get older. Right? So this is an example of finance of a business, okay? So can I bring my kids? You can, but just let you know, we're gonna shoot. If you bring your kids over the border, ka-cling, ka-cling, ka-clam, all right? Like that's just how it goes. Can't tell you how obvious that is. Warren Buffett, if you guys don't know who Warren Buffett is, he is the greatest investor of all time, or one of the greatest investors of all time. And a lot of things that he says will actually go well with what you do. He invests in things he believes in. He invests in things that he understands, and he holds for years, decades even. He believes in the company. He holds it forever, and he's a great investor, all right? So you own a piece of a business, right? Let's say you own a lemonade stand. The lemonade stand earns money. Warren owns a tiny piece of that lemonade stand. Wow, this guy really puts his hands in everything. If the business keeps doing well, his piece may grow in value. So Warren Buffett bought this lemonade stand. You can't let anyone have anything. And yes, an investment could be a piece of the business. So yes, he only owns 10% of the lemonade stand, but Warren Buffett might make a couple quarters off that lemonade stand. What the fuck are we using Warren Buffett as an example for here? You should explain surplus value too. Dito, would you shut the fuck up from your grave and just get back down? I'm talking about a lemonade stand. You want me to add surplus value? Do you know how things work? That's like number 1, 2, 3, 17. Just shut the fuck up and let me do my slides, all right? 4 ways to use money. If anyone has any questions, you can use TTS and ask me, and I'll answer it, okay? So you earn money, you make, all right?
Is the lemonade stand a stock?
Yes, I believe Mike's Hard Lemonade is as a stock. I'm pretty sure it's a stock. Okay, there's not. There's another one that does a lemonade stock. I'm pretty sure there's a lemonade stock. Okay, Lemonade Inc. Yes, it is a stock. It is a stock. There you go. It's a stock. All right. So let's go back to our slideshow. So you earn money, you make. You spend money, you use. So think about that. That lemonade stand, chat, is now a stock. Okay. Lemonade is pharma. Fuck you. They switched up. Okay. Warren bought them and he completely changed house. You save money you keep for later, and you invest that money to grow. Finance is choosing how to use your money. So that's very important, chat. You're organizing how you use your money like a video game. Finance, in a lot of ways, chat, is like a video game. Yes, your dopamine just looked up and you looked at me. It's like a video game in a lot of ways. Like, I think of finance and making money as a game, right? It's like my own little zoo tycoon. That's how I see it. So, that's what you could do as well. It is a game, and it can be a fun game. A stock is a tiny piece of a company. So, what is a stock, chat? If you don't know what a stock is, like the guy said before, it's not a livestock. No, it's not your little piggies down at the market, right? It's a piece of a company. So every time we buy a company, you own that company, chat. Why not?
Can I
don't even know what I
save
just
money
said.
while door dashing every day?
Yes, dude. Yes, of course. Door dashing is not the problem, right? That's not the issue at all. The issue is that just don't give the guy a tip. See, that's financing. Don't worry about the fact that you're giving a guy or giving, DoorDash a ton of money. Just don't tip the guy. Put a 0% tip. Actually, put a negative. Make some money from the guy. That's what you should do, okay? Just don't give him a fucking tip, and you're totally fine. That's financing. Does that make sense, Chad? So a stock is a tiny piece of a company. So when you buy Apple, chat, when you buy Apple stock, you own Apple. Yes, you own Apple. You are a shareholder. You own Apple as much as everyone else can say, I own Apple. They own Apple, so do you. So you own the company. So when we're buying these stocks, you own the company because it's a public company. Does that make sense when the word public comes out now? You own the company. Public company. There's public companies, then there's private companies. You can't own private companies. Well, you can, but there's a whole other ball game. But you're not owning private companies. You're owning the public companies, okay? So these public companies, you own a share of. So that share is one of the many slices in that pie. Now, there could be a million shares. There could be a trillion shares. It depends on the pie. But you own one share, which, look, there's that one puzzle piece of this building. So you own a little piece of it. You own this right window right here that you can jump off of whenever you want. When you buy a stock, you own a tiny piece of a company. If the company does well, your share may rise in value. If the company struggles, your shares may fall. Prices can go up and down. And that's a Jewish star, chat. And no one tells you better than the Jews of what can happen. Stocks go up, stocks can go down. You can kill yourself from the third area of the building, okay? So, you receive $100. You get, right now, chat, from the sky, $100 drops onto the ground. What do you do with that money? Go ahead, you can use TTS. Go ahead, tell me. What do you do with that money, chat?
We need to hold our poo to earn profits. Booze. All on black. By hookers.
I'm not going to do anything until you give me the right answer.
ISA savings, then I don't pay tax.
What? ISIS?
Invest.
That's the right answer. You invest in hookers. You invest in hookers.
Invest it in Margaritaville. Donate to girl streamers.
That's also an investment.
Invest it on drugs.
Yeah, I'd rather you spend it on, okay, so you invested on drugs. That's fine. Maybe you need the drugs, okay? So you receive $100. What do? You spend it, okay? You could spend a little bit of the money. You save it, keep a little bit for later, and you invest it. Why am I... The hell? Move, fanatics. So every time you have money, chat, you should take a little bit of it and try to save it. There's a lot of apps that are great for that, by the way. I think I used to use a website called, or an app called BetterHelp, or is it, no, Betterment? Was it Betterment or BetterHelp? I think I used both. You can use an app that helps you invest and helps you save money and helps you grow your portfolio. Because a little bit of money today is a lot of money later, chat. So yes, you're going to have to spend money. That's normal. You're going to take $100, you're going to spend some of it. But the key is saving a little bit every time so you can have it for later and invest it so you can make money over time. There's no one perfect answer. Your goal matters. And that's the truth. If you get $100, chat, some of you can invest it, but some of you need to spend it immediately. And that's how it works. But try to save a little bit every day, okay? So what I learned one time from friends that's very important, chat, it was season 3, episode 6. It was when they were talking about how much you should spend on rent, right? And this was Ross talking to, I think it was Phoebe, about rent. And he said that you should only spend about 20% of your paycheck on rent. And that's a good role to have. And then all the rest of it should go into your money for investments. It's true. Also, I'll tell you guys this, chat. If you guys are in a savings account and you think that's investing, it's not. Savings accounts are a scam. Don't put your money into a savings account because most of the savings accounts are trash. Put it into an investment. Put it into a Roth IRA. Do not put it into a fucking savings account and think that that's how you're going to make your money. You'll never make money that way unless it's actually the one from Elon Musk because it's pretty fucking good. Okay. Yes, because interest on those things do not beat inflation. Correct. So, let's go over an example. Dude, they did a really good job with these drawings. Day one stock example is Disney, okay? So Disney is a stock. A lot of you guys don't understand that and don't believe that, but it's true. Disney, everything in your room, everything you're looking at is probably on the market. You could probably own a piece of it. Disney is a very famous stock. It's actually like the 101 of stocks for a lot of people. It's a lot of times the first stock that everyone gets into is Disney, all right? So Disney, people think of Disney, and what do you guys think of? What do you guys think of when you hear the word Disney? Woke.
Extra Emily.
Extra Emily. Right. Okay. Money. Mickey Mouse.
Money.
Pedophiles. Racist. Disney adults going into debt vacations. You know, that's actually a good question that I'm going to have to ask Claudia. I am just curious. Hey, Claudia, how much is the average vacation at Disney for a family of 4 for a week?
Hi, it's Claude actually, but no worries. So, for a family of 4 at Disney World for a week, you're realistically looking at somewhere around $5,000 to $7,000. Once you factor in park tickets, a hotel, and food. That's a pretty wide range though. Want me to break down where the money actually goes?
That's it?
Alright, take care, Matt. Goodbye.
What? No. Wait, that's it? Only $5,000 to $7,000? I thought it was way more than that. I thought it was way more.
As a pass holder, that's false L. It's a lot cheaper.
According to LendingTree, 45% of parents are going into debt for a Disney vacation,
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
average week-long stay now costing between $6,000 to $11,000. And while 57% of adults already live paycheck to paycheck, more than 80% will fund their summer vacation with a credit card, raising the question, how did the most magical place on earth become the symbol of a nation drowning in debt?
Well, that's a good question, chat. And the answer is us as the shareholders. So we want to make more money, so we have them increase prices, so that way everyone's miserable, but we make money through our wallet. That's the best part, chat. Everyone's suffering, we make money. So, stock example is Disney. So, what does Disney do? A lot of people think that Disney, all they do is their theme park, right? All they do is their theme parks. They have their Extra Emily. They have Disney Plus. They have their movies. But that's it. But no, they have licensing. They have sports. They have cruises. They have their streaming services. They have their rides. They have their everything. They have movies. They have TV shows. They have so much. Like, look at this, chat. I'm going to look at this. What does Disney own? Look at this. They own all of this. Look at this. ABC, ESPN. There's like an image of it, I'm pretty sure. Look at this, chat. Yes, this is the one I was looking at. Look at this. You think that they own a little bit? This is all the companies that Disney owns. Okay? This is what I mean. When you think you understand something, there's so much deep knowledge and understanding of what these companies are owned. These are all fucking huge companies that are inside the companies that are inside the companies. Yes, they're borderline a monopoly. So when people look at a stock and they go, why is Disney stock going up? I don't think their theme parks are doing that well. That's because there's 100 other companies. Look, chat, here's this little thing called Hulu that they own on the bottom left corner, you know? Like, they own so much of all these networks. This is just their television and film area that they own. It's incredible how much they own. You have to zoom in. You can't even see the names. There's so many fucking names in this thing. I don't even, like, look at this. They own all of these stocks. They own all these companies, sorry. GoPro. I bet you didn't even know that. They own GoPro. I don't know why they own GoPro, but they own GoPro. They own ESPN. What the fuck did I just say? Marvel. You know, they own Fox. They own Fox, chat. Look at that. They own all of these stocks. National Geographic they own. I keep saying stocks, I mean companies. So there's a lot to it. ABC7, they own that too. So when you see a stock and when you see a company, there's more to it every time. And you have to look into it because this is just the basics of it. Streaming, cruises, sports, whatever. There's so much to it that you don't even know, that we don't even know, right? They own 1,000 subsidiaries. Disney owns 1,000 other companies, chat. You know what I mean? Do they own Alveus? Listen, dude, if they bought Extra Emily's fucking streams with Russell, I'm sure they're fucking already doing a fucking platinum deal with Alveus. I'm sure Alveus Sanctuary will have its own fucking theme park soon, okay? They're gonna rename the fucking Jungle Book, okay? Just something about Maya, all right? Where you could be Maya Higa, all right? Like, I don't know. It'll be something like that. But you are Maya Higa. That's what it'll be. You get to be here, and while you're on the ride, you're like, Maya Higa. I don't know. Whatever they want to do over there, I have no idea how it works, right? I'm not at Disney World. Let's be honest. Where would I be? What cruise or thing I would be? I'd be the cruise that has the fucking Hantavirus or whatever it's called. That's the cruise that I would be. The Mizkif fucking cruise. You're on it. You're enjoying it. You all of a sudden realize that everyone around you is killing you. That's what I would have. All right. So, Disney has many ways to earn money. They have films, they have cruises, etc. They have stories, fans, many businesses. Movies and shows can lead to streaming, parks, sports, cruises, and products. So when they get a good show, like an example, like a Bluey, right? And they buy out Bluey, they can make theme parks, they can make episodes, they can make cruises, they can make balls, they can make coins, they can make anything from that IP and turn it into a massive, not just a billion-dollar thing, a multi-billion-dollar thing. And that's when they make their money. Got it? So, the ticker symbol. What is a ticker symbol? Very simply, chat, it's usually 3 to 4 letters, and so you can find them on the stock market. Okay? So, Disney is DIS. If I had a stock, it would be MIZ. A lot of times, it is just, it's very easy to find. You just put in their name. But if you want to find their ticker symbol, because that's what you're going to see, DIS. So for NVIDIA,
they are making a Zootopia land. It's basically gonna be Alveus.
So DIS is for Disney, but for NVIDIA, it's NVDA. For Tesla, it's TSLA. There's so many others that you can think of. You could think of Amazon, AMZN, right? Like, bro, this is kiddo stuff. Let's go over harder stuff like options. Tommy, I understand that you had a really rough childhood, okay? They used and abused you on Rugrats. You were the GOAT, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to you, man, you just didn't shine for any of us in All Grown Up. We just didn't see it in you. You just didn't have that passion that you once did. You could see in your fucking eyes that you were depressed, all right? But I'm letting you know, there's a lot of people here that don't understand these things, and the goal of this is not just to make money for you guys, it's to understand finance for the rest of your life. Because a lot of these people here might have problems with savings. They might have problems at their house. They might not understand these financial words that I'm even saying, and this can help them in their future. And I think that a way they can learn is by a retard telling them. And if that's how it happens, then that's how it happens. If no one learns from this, then I just wasted some time, right? Whatever. Everyone wastes time all day. My life is wasting time, okay? So it's important. And we're on day 3. We need to learn these things in order for anyone to understand stuff. Day 4, we'll do options. We're going to do $800,000 on NVIDIA tomorrow, by the way, on an options. Of course we are, right? All in. And if it doesn't work out, I quit. If it works, you're rich. That's next slide for tomorrow. Today, it's learning what a ticker symbol is. Because that's how it usually goes, chat. Okay, Miz, I understand what a ticker symbol is. Now let's do level 2 options. Let's do call options for Disney for Friday execution. Yes, of course, right? Of course. As nothing but skull puts a question mark, I'm joking, all right? Stock price, the cost of one share, all right? So that stock price is not the cost of one share. Actually, yes, it is. Why did I just say it's not? So one share of Disney is $98.18. Disney August 4th, 2026 closing price. So that's the end of the day of the market. It was $98.18. So if you buy a share of Disney, congratulations! You own one share of Disney. You own one grain of sand in the beach that is Disney at a Disney studio. You can go to Disney and demand more and say, I get to cut the rides because I own the place. And they have to let you do it, chat. They're just an employee. You own shares. You are an owner. So that 98.18, that's how much you get. And you get to have that, and you now own a piece of Disney, okay? So 98.18 is how much it is. Now, I'm going to let you guys know something. The stock price doesn't matter. I know you're going to be like, but that doesn't make any sense, Miz. The stock price doesn't matter. How do you think that Nvidia is at $221, but it's the most expensive, or it's the best company in the world, and with the highest market cap, but it's only at $221? This is a whole nother ballgame to talk about, but the price of the stock doesn't matter because they can split shares. They can split shares, and they can split shares again, and basically they can make the pool of shares grow so that way the price stays low. Because otherwise, that if they kept it at the same amount of shares that they had from the beginning, you probably would see the stock at like $20,000, right? So that way no one would want to buy the stock because it's too expensive. So they split shares constantly, so that way it's more appealing to you, right? So that's how that works. Let's keep going. So the market cap is the whole company's price tag. So you have a bunch of companies, a bunch of stocks, or a bunch of shares, right? All these shares times one share is this fucking chest, which is the market cap. So you have all the shares.
But can't you buy fractional shares?
Yes, you can. But you got to realize that it's not as appealing for people when the share price is so high, right? So they want to make it lower so that way more people are interested. You can buy fractional shares, though. So all these shares, right? Let's say it's a million shares, times it by $98. That's 1.77 billion shares out there equals about $174 billion is how much Disney is worth. Okay? Does that make sense? Which S&P 500 is the one in Robinhood? There's several. So the one that everyone likes is called the VOO. That's the one that you use. The VOO, or you want to use. The VOO is the one with the lowest expense ratio. I'm not a financial advisor, though, so I'm just telling you what I use. Okay. So the trading volume. Why are you guys talking about Barron Trump? Trading volume is the shares changing hands. So I've talked about this before on stream, but it's the shares trading hands. So for example, you're going to see these lines right here, this red and this green. Okay? This red and this green. That's the volume. The volume is the stocks trading hands with other people, right? It's someone buying and someone selling. It's up here. This is the volume as well. That's right now. Win your bet, win money in a flash in fan cash. We could do the advertisements. I mean, I do have to pay for pencils for this class, but we can focus on that later. Up here where I am on my scroll, this is where you're going to be looking for buying and selling. This is what's happening. This is the trading of hands of people buying and selling stocks. That is your trading volume. Okay? That's your trading volume every single day. That's your trading that's happening all the time. So your typical day for Disney is about 11 million shares get traded. So that's someone buying and someone selling every single day. 11 million shares. On August 4th, it was 16.8 million. So it's a lot more on August 4th. That's a big day. The average volume equals a normal day. So a typical day is 11 million. Today was busier than normal. High volume means more activity equals not good or bad. So sometimes there's a lot of activity, chat, if the stock is plummeting, right? Everyone's trying to throw their shares out the window. Sometimes there's a lot more volume because people are buying shares and it's good for the stock. Sometimes there's a lot of volume and nothing really happens. But volume can tell you that there's a lot of shares that are buying and trading and there's a lot of action. And that usually means volatility, which means the stock's going up and down like crazy, okay? Revenue is the money that is coming in. These are really good pictures, holy shit. So the revenue for Disney is its films, is its televisions, is its stadiums, is this bag, is this fucking boat, is this fucking ride that with this fucking thing, right? I'm pretty sure this was the old OTK house they had on Kick. All this stuff is the revenue. And it all goes into this fucking pot that has water in it. I don't know why it has water in it and fucking anyway, so that's weird that Disney does that. But the guy was also a massive racist, so he's probably got some weird ass shit he's into. I don't know. I have no idea what that guy does anymore. Does anyone know what the Walt Disney does anymore? I'm pretty sure he's on Rumble. So their entertainment is tickets, shows, and licenses. Their streaming is subscriptions and ads. Their experiences are parks, cruises, and products. Revenue comes in before Disney pays its bills. So this is all before it pays its bills. Disney's revenue was $25.2 billion. Boom. That's a lot. So their quarter two revenue was $25 billion. It's up 7% from last year. Remember, revenue is not the profit. So it's all these things, and every dollar is collected and goes into the register, which costs still come out. So no costs have been out yet. Then you have your expenses. This word makes you guys quiver. You hate the word expenses. Now, what is the expense of Disney World? Nothing, right? Because there's no price on fun and family moments.
Agad. Gay. Teacher looking pretty sexy today.
So, what you have as your shit
Unfree.
What you have is, for example, you have
42,069.
That's probably your expenses. So for an example, for expenses, you have your film crews, right? Which this is obviously getting replaced with AI, right? But you have your film crews. You have your trees, Mr. Beast. I told you to get rid of those things. You have your gardening. You have your construction that needs to be done. Your database centers that are being made in Virginia. You have your CEO salary, right? You have all this stuff that needs to be made. These are basketballs. This was supposed to be a kid in China making these things. You have megaphones for some reason that are apparently expensive. All these things come out of your wallet and make expense. So your operating income is your profit from the job. So the money comes in, your money comes out, and your money left. All right? So that is your operating income. It is whether everyday business earned more than it spent. So you want to make more money than you're losing, chat. So your net income is the end result of everything. This is the end. This is the end. So your operating costs, your interest, and your taxes are all paid, and now you have your net income. Okay? So the net income is what you hear when it's like, what's the gold at the end of the rainbow? What's the gold? Okay, we did all this expenses, we did all the interest, we did all the taxes, after everything, how much money do I have left, boss? After everything. I can take this home, put it in my safe, and never touch it. $2 billion. So the revenue comes in, cost, interest, taxes. Your finish is $2.25 billion for Disney shareholders. So the earnings per share is profit for one share. So EPS is a phrase you're going to hear all the time, is EPS. Remember that name. Remember that phrase. It's not UBS. It's not anything else. It's EPS. Company profit is $2.25 billion. $2.25 billion divided by all the shares equals $1.27 earning per share. Earning per share is one share slice of profit. So your share is $98. The profit for that year is $1.27. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but chat, there is a price to earnings ratio that is in every single stock, and we will go over that as well. Price to earnings ratio is how the whole market works. So yeah. So adjusted earnings per share is a second view, 2 glasses. Regular earnings per share is $1.27. Adjusted removes certain items. Always ask what changed and why. The adjusted earnings per share is $1.57. Don't worry about adjusted as much. Mark Zuckerberg here, nothing but skill. You have been talking shit about Barron Trump in the back of my classroom for fucking days. Your profile picture is of Mark Zuckerberg. Are we gonna have a fucking problem? Nothing but skill? Are we gonna have a problem? Watch your mouth. This guy says he is Mark Zuckerberg, is what he's been spamming in my chat. Are we gonna have a fucking problem? 9. Really, you're one of those kids.
Sucked.
All right, chat. He's acting like this. He wants to say 9 like that in my classroom, and he wants to talk like that. We're gonna watch all of Schindler's List right now, the whole movie. All right, because he's gonna act up like this. We're watching all of Schindler's List, and I'm gonna go away, and I'm gonna go file my hand. We're gonna watch all of Schindler's List. All right, never mind. All right, back to what we're talking about. I'm not watching that with no way. Putting on Schindler's List with a kick chat. Yeah, I'm really gonna fucking do that, boys. I'm really gonna do that. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, Nolly's excited for all the clips he can get. Mizkif pays his viewers to watch Schindler's List. I'm out. All right. So the earnings date is what you're going to hear a lot. And earnings are happening right now. Earnings date is the report card day. So earnings, when you hear me say earnings, that is the report card. Everyone, you all had report cards growing up. Report cards are the, every quarter you basically get told what you're doing, how well you're doing. That's what it is every single quarter for these companies. They have to do it, right? They have to show their earnings. So for Disney, it's August 5th. It's literally today. It is before the market opens, and it's fresh results and plans on what they're going to be doing, about their money, about how much money they've been making, and they have to be honest, chat. They cannot lie. And the reason why they cannot lie is because of Abraham Lincoln. No, it's because that they filed with the FCC and they have requirements, and if they don't do that, they'll go to jail, okay? So they have to give legitimate answers and legitimate numbers, otherwise they can go to jail, because that is market manipulation. Cash flow is the real money moving in. So you have cash coming in, money coming in, right? A lot of you guys have probably had money coming in from different areas. I'm sure, so let's go with an example for some of you guys. You have your main bitch and you got a mistress. No, that's not it for you. Okay, in World of Warcraft, you are making money through the auction house, but you're also making money farming a bunch of different mobs in this one section. That is your cash flow. You have money coming in from the auction house while you also have money coming in from the mobs that you're farming in Shadow Moon Valley, right? So you have these two mobs that are no one plays WoW. Do you guys want to give an example of a cash flow that you had, like money moving into your, that you've had? Being a pimp. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are pimps. So an example is you're a pimp and you have multiple hoes on different blocks. Those multiple hoes who are on different blocks get different checks, you feel? So those hoes are getting different revenues for you and they're bringing in profits. That is your cash flow. Yo, so you have all this money coming in, bro, and you are making money on the fucking fly. So you make money on the spot, right? That's your money. That's your cash flow. So it's coming in. It's real money that's moving into you. Your customers are paying for your hose.
Keep them in check for maximum cash flow.
Absolutely. You got to keep them in check. No doubt, bro. But your hoes are making you money from your customers. And then your hose, afterwards, you have to pay your hose bills. And then the quarter two result is $6.9 billion in operating cash. All right. Free cash flow is another word. So there's cash flow and there's free cash flow. What's the difference, chat? Free cash flow is the cash left to choose. Your cash flow is the real money that's just moving. Your free cash flow is the cash left that you have afterward. Leftover cash can pay for debt, dividends, buybacks, or new projects. So free cash flow is, hey, we got a lot of extra money. What are we going to do with it, right? So for you with your hose, chat, because a lot of you guys have your hose, what can you do? Dental, right? You can get them a boob job. You can possibly have them, I don't know, get a side hoe job as a fucking valet. You can have them go get a boob job in Mexico and have them put a child on their back when they come back and the child gets shot, right? And who cares, right? It's just a child getting shot. It doesn't make a big deal anymore. What matters is that the hoe got back with brand new tits. So that's the most important part, right? And that's the most important part of the park. Free cash flow is cash left to choose. Does that make sense, chat, to you guys? So if you look at everything, chat, the price, the profit, the cash, you look at everything, you put it all together, that's the valuation. So it's like, all right, the profit of this company is X, the cash that they have is Y, and they also, this is their
PT
debt.
Plastic has raided with 338 viewers.
Oh my God, hey, PD! So yeah, this guy's eyesight must be fucking terrible, is 100% right. Why the fuck does he need this magnifying glass to look at a broken fucking coin? Like, what the fuck is he even looking at? And what the fuck does this have to do with the tag? None of this makes sense. So, I don't know what this guy's doing. This guy has lost the plot. But yes, we're moving on. Price to earnings. You're going to hear me say this all the time. Price divided by earnings. That slash is not a fucking, I don't know. It's a divider. Price and earnings. It's the price divided by the earnings. So the share price is $98. Your past year earnings per share is $6. That's the price divided by the earnings. And that's the number that you get. So the price and earnings is about 15.7, which is low. That is low, okay? So for an example, Micron, the company you guys all love, their price to earnings is about 4. which is so fucking low that people are saying that Micron should just buy back its shares, go private, and call it a day. Because it's so low. Because the goal of a company, the reason why they go public, chat, is so they can make more money from the public. And those public make money, but at the same time, they get the money, and they can invest the money faster, so that way they can make better products. That's why they go public. They want to get money fast from the public, right? And they're only 4 times as valuable as they would be if they were private. And that's not even, it's like, why the fuck would I just not go public or private again, right? If I'm only at 4x of my PE, I might just go private. 15x, that's pretty low still, right? And sometimes you have companies that have really high price to earnings, right? And that's just because people really believe in the company, or they might just be priced out too high. So it could be both. Yes, the price to earnings can be ridiculous, but they can also be worth it. We don't know. Dividend is the cash paid to shareholders. So dividends are great. We want to know what dividends are if we can get any checks. You have $1 million at play. So some dividends will pay you, like 1% per quarter. Some dividends will pay you a quarter. So one payment is 75 cents per share. So for Disney, it's for their $95 share, they'll pay you 75 cents per share. Dividends are a great way to make money. The stock goes up or down, but at the end of the day, you still get paid every quarter, okay? So dividends, yes, they're usually for rich people. People love dividends who have money. I like dividends because I don't need to do what you do because I already beat the game twice. So 2 payments, $1.50 total for 2026. So a dividend chat, their dividends are every 6 months. So every 6 months you get 75 cents and you get $1.50 every year. That's great, right? So this can go up or down. If the price goes up, you get more of a dividend. If the price goes down, you get a little bit less. But their dividends are good. The reason why they give dividends, chat, is because they want you to continue to invest. And they're saying, thank you for investing. Thank you for being part of Disney. Here's your money. It buys its own shares. This happens all the time, chat. So they want to buy their shares because they believe in their company and they want fewer shares. So that way it also riles people up in the market. It's sometimes a good thing to just buy back shares to make the stock go up. It gets people excited, right? So they buy their shares using their company cash. They have fewer shares, which means there's a bigger slice for each person who owns the stock. Can make the stock market go up, can make the stock go up, right? Disney's targeted at least $8 billion of share repurchases in fiscal 2026. So what could change Disney next? That's the question. And that's the question that everyone's always asking. And that's what the stock market's all about, boys. What happens next? We don't know. And you use all this information to say what you think can happen with Disney next. Will they go for international? Will they try to go more globalization and get more different countries? Are they going to focus on other theme parks? Are other theme parks even worth it? Right? That's the thing. You got to find out all this information. Why is this backpack locked up? I don't fucking know. Is there a bomb in it? We don't know. And all these things you have to figure out, right? All these things. And these things are what equates to what the future can be. And your goal in all of this, chat, is like, it's a puzzle. It's a game and it's a puzzle, and you're trying to figure out what's that final piece. What is the thing that is going to make this stock move in the future? Because you're all trying to predict the future whenever we're going through stocks. So it goes by the tick. And can we also have it where how many people download the extension? All right. So today, did you guys learn anything? Did anyone learn anything? Was that worth doing? I know it can be kind of seen as like boring, but it's very important. I mean, like, seriously, it's important shit, right? It's finance. I know it's boring to some of you, but chat, it literally is the most important thing in your life. It will make you, if you learn finance and you can really learn to knock down some of your payments and change things, chat, I'm telling you, it's a game. It's a fun video game that you can actually learn and win, right? I loved finance when I was younger because it was a game. I was like, how can I save money and win? It's so important. And we'll do one of those slides every day. Every day we're going to do a slide because you have to.